Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM, great to welcome back the Mayor of the Horowhenua, Bernie Wanden. Good morning to you, Bert.
Good morning, John, and to your listeners.
And here we are. We are still in level 2. I actually lose count, but I know that we have restrictions, and I imagine that is causing some casualties in terms of functions that are either restricted or possibly even shut down.
Yes, it is. It is still causing problems. I think the hardest thing for people is to try and find that balance between keeping everybody safe and also wanting to still, do the community type of thing. So, a number of engagements and events that I had been scheduled for over the last week or two have been postponed or cancelled. There's still been the odd one or two that have gone, especially those where there might have only been 30 to 50 people and managed to keep everybody a good distance apart. That's been good. And I'm sort of pretty relieved, actually, that, we are able to go and do that little bit that we are because, I know how hard it must be for Aucklanders not being able to really go about their business as they would want.
Yes, I do a little bit of business with Auckland, and I can tell you they've had enough. And in fact, I've got a feeling that right over the country that we're all holding our breath and hope that we can really restrict that current outbreak in the Queen City and that there are no more restrictions, because I've got a feeling that many people are just over it now.
Well, I think, the reality is that, we went 100 days without any transmission within the country. There are going to be more cases regardless of whatever we do, lockdown, quarantine, and it's very, very difficult. So to find that balance between letting people being able to do what they like, and I think there's a personal responsibility that each of us have to do in terms of making sure we're following the rules. If it means wearing masks out in public, if it means social distancing, but we must keep those hygiene regulations up and try and sort of lessen the prospect of any transmission around the community. Look, I'm a business owner. I'm very grateful that I can open my doors and pretty much carry on like I can at the moment. It would be very tough having to close my doors again, for sure.
Absolutely. And how is, people may not know, particularly in the southern part of our listening area, that Bernie has a very successful Paper Plus operation in Levin. How is the business going?
Business is, to be honest, pretty brisk for us and has been since lockdown finished almost. The post side of my business has been extremely busy,
yes.
And that's been both good and bad. Challenges, we always like to be busy, but obviously in the current climate it does present some challenges. But fortunately, and for a lot of businesses around the central CBD of Levin, they have continued on and been reasonably busy. I haven't met too many who have had a downturn, actually. All the tradies and certainly in the construction world, the plumbing and electricians that I talk to are all extremely busy, so which is a good sign for here.
Absolutely. I think we're very lucky in that we did not rely on tourism to the extent that some of the areas that are badly affected are. Bernie, we had the Local Government Association conference. Do you call it a conference if it's sort of virtual or zooming around? The L.G.A, the meeting over the weekend, I assume that you were part of that as well.
I was. So, yes, it certainly was different having 78 councils represented on Zoom, trying to vote remits and vote elections for our officers was a bit of a mission, and it was a long day, but we've got there, and it was interesting. We've got a new president of Local Government New Zealand, Dave Cull, who used to be the Mayor of Dunedin, has now ended his term, and we have a former mayor from Tauranga, Stuart Crosby, who's now the Local Government New Zealand president, and the deputy president is going to be Hamish McDowell from Whanganui. So some good representation for us in the lower half of the North Island. And Hamish has been a very great advocate for the Horowhenua, recognising how good, the connections are with the roading and things like that can help his area as well.
Sure.
So we've got a good friend there, which is really good.
Excellent. Yes, I spent some time in Whanganui, as we're supposed to call it these days, and
Yes.
all the very best to the Muddy River City. And did anything interesting come up, anything of particular relevance to this part of the country at the Local Government New Zealand Conference?
Look, there's a number of remits that we voted on in the meeting, and most of them were around national topics, if you like. Local government advocates on our behalf to central government for a number of things. We requesting that we get the rates back that we pay. The GST on the rates that we pay back to help us with our infrastructure. So we're advocating for that. We're advocating for a number of different things in the spaces of water, housing, different affordability issues that we are all confronting around infrastructure. Look, it doesn't mean it will happen, but Local Government New Zealand will take up the mantle, if you like, and push for those sort of things to happen. Of course, with the national election only a month away, or 6 weeks away, no one quite knows where we're going to land after October the 17th. So, it's a bit of the unknown, and hopefully we can, get some certainty around our economies and things like that. I'm just reading this morning, in fact, some economists saying that it's going to take 3 years for us to get out of this this pandemic. So, we're all going to have some challenges over the next few years.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And I believe you have a presentation in Foxton coming up.
I do. Looking forward to this. It's not often that I get the opportunity to present sort of like, if you like, an economic development report for the Foxton community. And so gathering all the business people from Foxton, we're going to have breakfast and talk about the opportunities and the challenges that we have in front of us. And hopefully, we're seeing some fantastic things happen in Foxton. So it's just really making sure that we, they're aware of those opportunities that are in front of them, actually. Looking forward to that.
And yes, really good news. You've got some definite progress, definite runs on the board, as they say. But I've always loved Foxton. I've always loved its spirit, and I've always loved the forward thinking that you can see there. And they're not going to lie down, are they, in Foxton?
No, and look, the perception of Foxton has changed dramatically over the last few years, and I think that's been a combination of what council has invested, but also what the local community have now got confidence in their future, and we're seeing some wonderful things happen up there, and I'm sure it's going to continue.
Just wait until the river loop is flowing freely once again. That'll make a big difference.
Hopefully one day.
Indeed, we're all waiting. Bernie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on Beach FM.
A pleasure, John.
106.3 Beach FM.